Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. Today I'm going to be teaching you Fleek. It's a fun, aerial, boomerang type move that I've been sitting on for a long time. In this video I'm going to go over the basic move as well as a few different variations and applications. I'm really excited to finally share this with you, so let's get into it. So first of all, take my advice and don't practice this move outside where there's wind. Instead, I would recommend practicing inside, either on some clean carpeting or better yet, directly over your bed. This way you can practice the move over and over and you'll be able to easily pick up all the cards you drop without bending over a million times. Now Fleek is based on a move that Dan and Dave teach called Flick. This move uses the same principle of flicking two fingers off of each other, but instead of using the thumb and index finger, you're going to be using the index and middle finger. So before you even have cards in your hand, practice crossing your index finger over your middle finger like this. The two fingers are going to push against each other, creating tension. When you're ready to perform the move, your index finger is going to snap forward while your middle finger snaps back. This is the flicking action that will cause the card to spin through the air. Once you've tried this a few times, you're ready to try it with a card. Cross the fingers like before and try inserting a card so that the outer left corner is pinched between them like this. In this position, when you create that tension and perform the flicking action, the card will go flying from your fingers. A proper spin depends on the friction of your index finger pulling back against a relatively frictionless middle finger. If these forces are out of balance, the card can stick or slide out of place. So try this. If your hands tend to be a bit moist, just use your shirt to thoroughly dry off the back of your middle finger before performing the move. If your hands are dry, like mine are right now, just give the pad of your index finger a little lick and then snap it against your thumb a few times to make sure there's some friction there. This way you'll see that the index finger sharply pulls against the corner of the card while it slides over the middle finger. This force is what causes the card to get its spin. Now, due to the nature of your fingers uncrossing, the card is actually going to be released perpendicular to its starting position. So in order to successfully flick the card from one hand to the other, you're going to want to begin with that card perpendicular to the ground. At least that's what I thought. Funny enough, when I was filming this take of what not to do, I was expecting the card to go careening straight down, but surprisingly it actually turned face up and made the journey to my awaiting hand. What's particularly interesting about this is that when the card is released in this fashion, its spin will be clockwise relative to the floor, but its speed and direction of travel will be more or less the same to the quote-unquote regular method. This method, which I've been using for the past so many years, involves turning the wrist to 90 degrees and then bending it 90 degrees inward. You'll see that the card will follow a similar path as before, but now it's spinning counterclockwise. Pretty neat. As you try out these various starting positions, you can also mess around with flicking the wrist to see if you can get some extra air time. Similarly, the amount of force you put into the finger flick will affect the dynamics of the move. A weak flick will result in a short, easy-to-control flight path, while a stronger flick will result in an impressive aerial. The more you experiment with these different variables, the better understanding you'll have of how to control the card. Now, practically speaking, there's a few different ways to get into a performance of Fleek, and a few different ways to handle the catch. Assuming you're working with a full deck, the top card can be loaded into the basic face-down position by simply pushing it over with the thumb and clipping it between your two awaiting fingers. If you want to achieve this in a more elegant fashion, try sliding the top card back and then giving it one full rotation around the thumb before clipping it and performing the move. The easiest way to catch a face-down card in the deckhand is simply to open all the fingers wide as if you're catching a spring, and then close them as soon as the card lands. If it doesn't land square, it's easy enough to simply adjust it with your fingers. Another way to catch a face-down card is to perform a one-handed cut and then close it over the card like a book. This is a bit more difficult, and if the card doesn't land square, it may require you to shamefully involve your other hand as you correct your mistake. Now, what if you want to flick the card face up? Assuming again that you're using the regular method and not this wild variation that I discovered today, my preferred way to get into a face-up position is to do this classic double lift technique, where you pivot the card on the base of the thumb and then turn it face up. When you get here, just continue rotating it until it's in position. Now, if you want to catch the card and have it return to the deck face down, one fun thing to practice, which is difficult to show from this camera angle but I'll try my best, is to bring the deck up and turn your palm face down, and then rapidly bring it down over the airborne card while opening your fingers. The idea is that your hand will be falling faster than the deck, so it won't escape your grip. Once you've made contact with a single card, immediately close your fingers and turn the deckhand palm up once again. With a bit of practice, you'll get it down, and it's very satisfying when you do. The other thing you can try is performing a charlier and then turning your wrist 180 degrees to catch the card. But be warned, such extreme cardistry novelties are not for the faint of heart. No matter how you perform Fleek, just remember to take a break once your hand inevitably starts to cramp up. Hey everyone, thanks so much for watching. I want to give a huge shout out to my buddy Niko for creating the music that you've heard in this video. Give him a follow on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok by searching for Niko Noisemaker. If you have any questions about this move, feel free to comment down below or reach out to me and I will do my best to help you out. I'll see you next time.
Fleek.